This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Welcome to the Rockstar Dad Show. My name is Jaret. Gary is here. We're from the band Bowling for Soup. We're probably your favorite band. If we're not,
something's wrong.
That's your problem. You know, that is your problem. Later in the program, Denis Lipari, who is a band manager. He's got his shit together, this guy, you know, but he's also a rockstar dad. We're going to talk with him a little bit later. Gary, how are you? What's going on? What the fuck?
Dude, we're in the dog days of summer here. We got summer camps and kids at home and, you know, just trying to stay afloat at the moment. Dropping Tyler off at baseball at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I got Mia running around in the background right now. So we may have a special guest. Who knows? Yeah, sometimes. Man, remember when we first started doing this show, she would just come in and she would be the chick from Frozen. She would always be, I can't remember her name. Elsa. She would always be wearing an Elsa dress. Yeah. I'm Elsa. And oh, hey, Elsa. How's it going? And is she still real big into pretending and stuff? Oh, yeah. But I mean, now it's all sorts of different stuff. Yesterday, this is cute. Yesterday, after we picked up Tyler from his baseball camp, we came home and she asked Tyler if he and I would go in the yard with her and be her coaches. And so we were, you know, doing some drills, throwing her grounders and, you know, actually threw some balls for her to hit. But she was calling me Coach G and him Coach T. And then every now and then, but she'd be like teacher. And we're like, no, you call us coach. But then every now and then she'd be like, okay, guys, pause. Let's pretend that the next part of practice is this. Okay. And now we're back on. And then we're back to being coaches.
Oh, my God. Man, it's just the best. It's like, you know, when in my old house, well, at this house too, you know, when the kids were little, we always would turn our dining room into the playroom. So it's essentially like wherever you're at, it's the center point of the house, right? So yeah, all of my houses have always been real open, as you know. Well, you live in the Octagon. It's as open as you can be, but it's still that is still one of my greatest nickname items of all time. You have to admit. Like
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Like I've nicknamed a lot of shit in our lives, but the Octagon, that's pretty fucking good.
So if you've never been to my house, which most people listening to the show probably have not been to my house, it's like everything's centered on our living room and then everything branches off from it in different directions, kind of like an octagon shaped thing. So Jaret came up with the name the Octagon like right after we moved into the house. I think we had a couch and a kitchen table and a bed and four bedrooms to fill up that. You know,
I just walked in. House. I was just like, it's because we were still like putting up shelves and shit. Yeah. And I just like, it's like this is the Octagon. I love it so much. And we almost burned it down during the My Weena video, which is a whole different story. But yeah, so my houses are always like, you know, the kitchen and the living room sort of like always are like one big thing, right? Kind of like yours, but like yours is more ranch style. Mine's 2 stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So but that was the thing is that just like Emma was just such a pretender. I mean honestly until like 11 or 12. And no matter what you were doing, you were always involved in something else. So like if I were, you know, in the kitchen cooking dinner or whatever, I was also at school at the time, you know, right. But it was just so funny because I just hear her little voice just like coming in and just like, okay, class today, we're going to, you know, and sometimes she'd just be in there by herself. And when we met Casey came in and set it all up like a little coffee shop in there. And Emma's big thing was we still joke about this. Me and Emma are super, super close. And so sometimes I'll just text her and say this. hi, my name's Ashley. I'm 19. Can I get you guys any appetizers? She would always tell you how old she was, as part of the pretend. And it was just the goddamn cutest thing. And she couldn't say appetizers for a longest time. So she'd be like, hello, my name's Ashley. I'm 19. Would you guys like any appetizers, or can I get you some drinks?
Yeah.
Would you like a beer? I'll just have a coffee. But yeah, man, pretending with kids, man, it's just like, you got to fucking leave your phone in the other room though, because I would always make the mistake of like trying to be in the moment, but like also taking care of shit. And like, sometimes you just got to let go,
Yeah. It's hard to live in two worlds at one time, especially when one of those worlds is the pretend world of a 5-year-old.
And they know when you're not paying attention, man.
Oh,
it's like, cause you've had that happen, right? Where Tyler was like, hey dad, and he knew you weren't listening. Remember that time? And he got you to you had to take him to main event for like 8 hours the next day or something.
Yeah. He figured that out at a young age, but yeah, Mia is real direct about it. And it's cute, but I don't know, cute. It's sad even, but like she's real direct about it. She knows, and she'll just be like, Mom, put your phone down. Okay. I like that. Or she'll walk up to you and just like grab your face and like make sure that you're looking at her.
You're not paying attention. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's just this. That's just it too. Like I have to turn the radio off in the car because when the kids talk to me, like I can't not listen to other people talking. So like I'm trying to pay attention to 2 or 3 different things, and
I 100% understand that. So I can't listen to your conversation with me if the radio's going. Like it's just it's too much, right?
Yep.
And I have a hard time hanging out sometimes with Anik and her family because they just talk over each other. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know I've got 3 people talking to me at one time. What am I supposed to do here? And that's a tough one to navigate.
I have this bad habit of like, so Casey likes to talk during television. I will talk during television, but I just want to say like one thing and like be done with it. But like sometimes I'll say something and it brings up a conversation. And so I've started this conversation, and then by the time she's putting her input into it, I'm already back into the show, and then I'm just like, yeah, I hear you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. I told you that bitch crazy. But yeah, man, it's one of those things that I think as dads, we have to learn. Like, man, they know when you're paying. God damn it, man. There's so many times where I remember Emma just talking to the point of like where you're just like, oh my God, and then Jack talking to the point of just like, oh my God, please, for the love of God, But now, especially with Jack, he's 17, so you're in the car with him, like he has absolutely nothing to say to you. Unless you can bring up something. If I bring up something about Steelers or or if he has if something comes up that but otherwise it's just like, how's everything? Good.
It's got to be on his terms.
100%, and it's just like, I sort of miss him just like making shit up all the time. Cause that was his big thing back in the day, was he would just ask me the craziest fucking questions. Like, like they're like things there's no possible way I could know, and then he'd just make shit up, and it was great. And, yeah. So, I've really tried. Third kid, we're in that sometimes, and Everett will just kind of be going on and on about something. And I really try and like stop thinking about whatever the hell my mind is on and just listen,
Yeah.
It's not easy, it's not easy.
Did Jack do the other thing about like the age of not talking unless it's on their terms? Is you can go ask them any question after school, they're not going to say anything, but then when it's bedtime, they're just like this, and I'm like, dude, I love that you're talking to me right now, and I want to have these conversations, but you got to go to sleep. Like, ask me this at dinner, ask me this at 3 p.m, but right now it's 10:30. It's way past your bedtime. You need to go to sleep.
And Wiseman's go to bed late. You got to get those kids in bed.
Yeah,
y'all are you historically are a late family, and that's how you guys do your shit, right? So I can only imagine, like you said, 10:30 is fucking late. Yeah, so like well, no, he's in 8th grade, right?
He's 12.
That's not that bad. Anyway, And by the way, that wasn't a knock at your parenting. That's what you guys do. You've always been like that. You know, you guys fucking stay up late. It's just what you do.
It's like a generational thing. Like that's just our, like, even with my going to see my grandparents, like we eat dinner at 9 o'clock, you know, like you're not going to bed early.
You guys just aren't fucking, Bedtime is very, very difficult for Casey. She normally handles it. And you're like, go to bed, but it starts with go take a shower, and then he like goes over and lays on the dog. You know? And then he decides, hey, I swear to God, this just happened last night. Do you think the cat is gaining weight? Let me go get her and show her to you or whatever. It's like, we don't need to see the cat. We need you to go and take a shower. And he finally goes in there and takes a shower. Longest shower of all time or whatever. And then you got to get him to brush his teeth. But it's that whole thing. But then he's got to get a water. And then he's got to say goodnight to the dog. But all the while, you're so right. Just all of these topics of conversation that you sort of wish, man, I wish you'd bring that up at 5 o'clock in the evening so we could actually talk about that. But right now, go to bed. You know, it's not that I don't care to give you this information you're trying to get from me, but go to bed.
It's time to go to sleep.
And then so dad voice is basically just me like, dude, she's told you 3,000 times.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Anik is too nice. And we've talked about this on the show before. We divide and conquer a long time ago. Even before Mia was born, like I put Tyler to bed. I've always put Tyler to bed. That's been my thing. Yeah. But then whenever Mia was born, it turned out it just ended up like Anik's going to put Mia to bed. I put Tyler to bed. Well, now Mia's in that stage where she's manipulating Anik. I mean, you know, they brush their teeth and get in bed, and she's like, well, now I need a water. Yeah. And, well, I'm still hungry. I need this. It's just always something. Let's read one more book. After the books are over, it's all the questions and talking. And Anik just can't stop talking, go to sleep. Or she won't do the thing where she just like, you need to go to sleep. I'm done responding. Right. And so like they just keep on going. And it's really hard for Anik. It'll take her like an hour and a half to get Mia to bed. And the nights where, you know, Anik's gone, if she goes out with friends or if she's home late or whatever, whenever I'm putting her to bed, it's like, you know, 20, 30 minutes. Not a big deal. Because I know when I'm getting manipulated and I just shut it down. Yeah, 100%. But she's nicer than me. It's so hard though, too, because girls are so cute, you know. But just I don't know, man. Yeah, bedtime's just always. She's still a little kid, you know. Like Everett's 10, you know. It's just it's just a goddamn battle. We got to take a break. I've got myself all flustered about bedtime tonight. And so y'all hang out. Listen to this. We're going to be right back with more Rockstar Dad Show. Coming up later in the program, Denis Lipari is going to be with us, and he is a band manager. We're going to talk content creation and all kinds of cool stuff. He's a cool dude. You're going to like it. So hang out. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. And don't forget, we are on Adobe Radio every single Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, again, Tuesday nights, and then wherever you listen to podcasts, you can just go to adobe.com, I believe. You can go to Rockstar Dad Show on Facebook and watch us do the show. You can go to YouTube, Rockstar Dad Show. That's like magic that you can do that. It's unbelievable. I've been slacking on the TikToks, but I've been slacking on my own TikToks. I think I'm back. It is a full-time fucking job. To some of these videos take me, I mean, an hour and a half, 2 hours to make, and then, you know, nobody watches them. And then I'll just do some stupid deal where I just say something ridiculous and fucking 60,000 people, you know, it's just, there's just no rhyme nor reason to it. Yeah, and that's why you just keep doing it, right? You're just throwing it out there because of something's going to hit and something's not. 100%. You cast out as many lines as you possibly can, and you know, you go from there. But I do enjoy it. You know me. I don't mind being the center of attention, and it certainly that craving is quenched, so to speak, whenever I'm doing shit like that. So it's fine. But anyway.
Rockstar Dad Show is on TikTok, and we put clips up of our interviews, and you can see all those things. We've had some really great guests in the past few weeks, y'all. If you're new to the show, I mean, seriously, go back to the back catalog and check out some of these things. And we've got some great ones coming up as well. Talk to Dave Brown Sound from Sum 41, so that'll be our third Sum 41 guy coming on pretty soon. He is a stepdad, and absolutely loving it. And so we're going to get some cool perspective from him. So
that's going to be a good conversation, because being a stepdad could be a very tough position.
100%. Yeah, and he is just the sweetest man. And he's always been like that. Like, Dave has always been such a nice guy. Like, even when we were kids, going around in the van and shit. And I'm really looking forward to that. But lots and lots of good guests coming up. Man, and summer, as you said, is amongst us. We got golf camp coming up. Everett's excited about that. It's gonna be fun.
How come like you and I don't get to go do golf camp? That would be fucking awesome.
I agree, man. I think we should get to do that and just get out there and just snacks and free Gatorade and it's why we don't get to do it, because we have to fucking pay for it, Gary.
we were gone a couple weeks ago in Europe, and I missed some baseball games and baseball tournaments and stuff. And normally, whenever we go to these things, I help Tyler get warmed up. He's a pitcher, and he feels like a lot of the times at warm-ups, kids are goofing off and stuff, and he wants to get a really good warm-up in. So we have these like warm-up bands that he uses and all this stuff, right? That's what his pitching coach wants him to do to get a good warm-up in. But he always forgets them in the dugout. He takes them in the dugout after we warm up. During the game, he has them in between innings. He always leaves them in the dugout, and I always have to remind him to go grab him, or his catcher always reminds him. And anyways, whenever I was leaving town, I was like, all right, man, I'm not going to be there to warm you up. Don't forget these. Don't lose these. Yeah. He's already lost a pair. And I go, it's fine. I'm not going to be mad if you lose them. All right. So you don't have to worry about me being mad. You're just going to buy the next pair.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay. So what was his solution? He didn't even frickin' take them.
Didn't take them. Yeah. I was going to say. Yeah. I mean, you have to admire the forethought. He just like, I'm not going to take those. I'm just going to fucking forget them, and that's going to cost me money. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to take them. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. I don't know.
I thought I was being clever doing the, hey, I'm not mad. You're just going to buy them. And he'd be like, shit, I'm remembering this. Well, no, he just didn't take them.
We still use Go Henry, which was a sponsor of this show. You can probably still get a deal if you go to Go Henry to sign up for it and enter code Rockstar. By the way, any of our stuff still works. If we've done a promo in the past, you can still go use it. I just did that. Did I tell you that? I went to what's the grooming thing? Manscaped. I got a new shaver, and I got the Weed Whacker, which you do your nose with and shit. And I went and got all that shit on, and I saved, I don't know, 25% in free shipping or something with Rockstar or whatever. And that was a year ago when they were our sponsor. So anyway, you want a solo stove or any of that shit like that, go enter in Rockstar. But anyway, we still use Go Henry, which is it's a credit card for a kid. And it's fucking great, man. Cause he can use it to upload his V-Bucks or his whatever you got to have for Roblox and any of that shit. But I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and I tend to like when he's just like, hey, Dad, will you take $5 out of my account, $10 out of my account? I just don't do it. I'm just like, sure. And then he goes and he spends, because some of it, my credit card is hooked up to it, and then I had to go get his money from him, and you just basically move it, and it's real easy. You're in the app and you move it over, and it really is cool. He can learn, he can see how much money he has, and he gets a certain amount that he can spend each week and all of that. It's really cool. But I did have to tell him this summer, I said, it's really less about money management, because I know that you're learning that and all, but I said it's really just about screen time. So your screen time is going to cost you this summer. So if I tell you I'm taking $10 out, I'm taking $10 out this summer. And he's like, yeah, okay. And I go, cause you know I never do, right? And he's like, yeah, because mom does, right? And she's strict about it, and I love that, but
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just sort of like that. It's like if Jack asks me for gas money, I send Emma gas money too. Like
Yeah.
it's the way I am. And so anyway, this summer, he is going to learn real quick because I told you about Christmas. He spent $230 something that he had gotten in Christmas money. He spent the whole thing on in-app purchases.
I don't think you told me that.
During the fucking break, Gary, like before school went back. Like he had, because you can get in on this on this Fortnite, and you can buy all these skins, and you can buy all these this and like he wanted to buy Master of Puppets on Fortnite, so that when he's in the room waiting to go, he can listen to Master of Puppets, and not like the music. And I'm just like, but you have Master of Puppets like on your, like in an app that I pay for all apps, by the way. They can have, They have Pandora, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, all of it, anything.
Yeah. And not only that, like when we were kids, like my mom wouldn't let me, like she would not buy music for me. I had to earn money and go buy music. But like CDs or cassettes, even whenever I was younger, like they were expensive. It was $12 to $16 to go buy one record. And now with iTunes, it's like, I don't know what it is, $10 a month, $12 a month, like everything in the world. You just got it.
Anything, it's literally anything. Well, YouTube is free. And kids know that shit, right? So like it's still number one for discovery. We just talked about that, right? We were talking about the other day, we were talking about discovery of music because we were wondering what our Bowling for Soup, country to country, what ranks where, right? And we were a little surprised that Italy is like number 5 for us now. But it's like, then you go to where people get their music, and still worldwide, it's still YouTube. It's but anyway, it's going to cost him some money to play his games this summer, and that's the way it ought to be. So, but he's been doing it. God, he's just so great as far as chores and stuff like that, and all the kids have always been good about that. And I don't know. There's a little compliment on my children before we go to break. Coming up, we've got Denis Lipari. He is a band manager and a super cool guy, and someone that I'm really glad we got to get to know. Y'all hang out, listen to these words, and we'll be right back with more Rockstar Dad Show right after this. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show, and man, I'm super stoked about our guest today, Gary.
Yeah.
No, you're not the guest, silly. Denis Lipari. Did I say that right?
Close enough, yeah.
Is it Lipari?
It's actually pronounced Denis.
Oh,
I'm full of shit.
Denis.
No, thanks.
You son of a bitch. It's already started. Like many of our interviews, we started out here with Denis, and half the shit wasn't working. And so he got to watch us fix stuff for a while. But you, the listener or viewer, whichever it be, you're used to that shit from no matter what show it is you're watching me on. Dennis,
usually by the time it
man?
gets to them, everything's fixed.
That's right. Where in the world are you, Dennis?
I am in the heart of New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right. Just
Suburbs.
over there.
Metuchen.
And have you stayed in Jersey your entire career, or did you do the move to LA, move to Nashville thing?
Nah, I held strong. I mean, obviously, I've spent some serious time both places, but I've always lived or paid rent in New Jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, you're a band manager. Lovely the band, and man, I mean, like a bunch of artists, right? You, but you're also
But yeah.
Go ahead. What did you say?
I try to keep a small roster. I have 4 acts currently working right now.
Do you like that side of the business? I mean, obviously you must because you do it for a living. But I mean, being sort of like bad cop and good cop, for the people that you represent.
Yeah. so it is interesting though, because I was an artist for many years, touring. And then I was a songwriter and did that primarily. And then I became a manager. It was kind of like, it mirrored my, I guess, personal human experience in life of what I was willing, what responsibilities I was excited to take on. In the beginning as an artist, I wanted absolutely nothing to do with responding to an email. So,
Right.
And here I am circling back with people all day long.
Man, it's such an interesting thing that you bring up, because that's where I was going to head to this interview with you before we talk about parenthood. Because from a manager's standpoint, and when you're working, especially with younger artists or whatever, that whole not wanting to respond to an email is very much, our generation. And now you have a generation of artists where you have to encourage them to be consistently and constantly putting things out content-wise. With the artists that you work with, is that somewhat a part of the job that they don't like these days, or are these younger artists, is it just part of what they do?
No, I think it's like a human thing, or I guess an artist thing. I work with this group Rec Hall, and they're when I started working with them when they're 19, now they're 22, but they're of that generation where everyone's sharing everything online. But they still feel like it's an arduous task to do that stuff. They just want to write music and play shows. And we're trying to find that balance of like, well, why don't we just record you doing that? And then that is your kind of effort into putting stuff on the internet. So I think it's two parts of your brain, two different personalities that it takes to get in front of a camera and do something that you think might be entertaining, / then there's a different side of your brain that's creating music and wants to share a message with people. So I don't know. I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just an artist thing. I think it conflicts with trying to be on all day long.
Yeah, and and here's the other side to that. And this is recent for me. I haven't even said this to Gary, but there's those that do it really, really well as far as like the sharing content and all of that. And so there's a couple of acts that I follow, and let's just say specifically on TikTok, where at first they're so good and constant, and it's like, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe that this group of artists is able to put this kind of content together. But then it becomes so much that I'm just annoyed by it now. Like now when they come up, I'm just like, okay, obviously, somebody's telling them they need to do 10 videos a day or something. But, so I think finding that balance is probably something that you guys all are constantly just trying to figure that out, right? Because we all are.
Yeah, because, right, isn't that that's where the viewership is? They're on TikTok primarily, or Instagram Reels, but really TikTok. And if you want them to know who you are, you got to be on there. And I guess the frequency has been the kind of, we're kind of feeling around in the dark here. How frequent should we post, and what can it be? Also, the artists I work with in particular, they're artists first, then they're content creators, I guess. So they're always like, it's like pulling teeth, like, dude, we should post this week, bro. Where some other artists that are out there making a good living doing music are very focused on TikTok, and it comes natural to them. Like an artist like Jax, she basically is a personality on the platform, but she writes great music. So for her, that's working. I think what's hopefully happening is that I think the audience of TikTok is now kind of like not going on there to find music, and for a minute maybe they were. Now it's just super story based and visually. So there's going to be a separation of church and state, I guess. So music maybe will live on, to a certain expectation on the platform. Said before, it was like, oh my God, you can go viral if you're a musician. And now it's kind of like, look, you probably won't go viral. Like, you don't have to go crazy trying. Just exist. Bring people into your world. No pressure. That's where the audience is. Interact with your fans there, but don't feel the pressure to go viral. Where for a minute there, that was all it was.
And that where it kind of gets, that's kind of where it gets tricky though. It's like, okay, if you're playing shows, if you're in the studio recording, if you're writing songs, like that's all easy stuff for us to create content around, right? But you don't do that every single day. So then you got to get creative and figure out, how do I make eating this bowl of Fruit Loops interesting? Like, making something that everyone's doing interesting.
What's crazy, right? As throughout time, even, I'm going back to my education here, but like, artists from hundreds of years ago, they would present something once a year and everyone loved it. And that was enough. And now it's like every day. Right. So what's interesting is that the people that are creating, like you guys know very well, you guys are probably boring as fuck when you're not on stage flipping guitar picks or stuff, So
true.
Like, dude, you need to like calm down. Like I need to like wear mesh shorts and eat Fruit Loops, and watch football. I'm not going to film that. So it's like, now it's like, shit, I got to do a TikTok. I'm in my underwear. What the fuck do I do? So it's, that's why I don't think it's sustainable. And I think there is a little bit of change, and the artists you hear enough artists complaining about it. And now fans are like commiserating with that stigma of the pressure. And they're kind of like, all right, don't worry. I don't need such and such artists to be, walking through Kohl's, show me what the dinnerware dishes they're buying.
Your examples are so fucking spot on. Like, you're so locked in with this because you're so exactly right, and you fucking nailed it. Because, and here's the thing, before we go out on tour, I'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to have this guy come out with us, and he's going to video content every day. And that dude ends up just sitting around waiting on us to fucking do something. And we never do shit. I mean, like, ever. It's just like our backstage is exactly the way that it's been forever. And like getting the guys to do something is like telling them it's time to go sound check. I'll just be like, hey fellas, can you just say this in the camera or whatever? It's like, oh, okay. Rob gets up, goes to the bathroom first, like he's like you know what I mean? Like Chris is like, well, I'm eating Chinese food right now. You're so right, man. We're just like, it's almost like that whole thing. Like backstage, people have this glorious idea of like, man, I want to get backstage. I'm going to get backstage passes. I'm going to get there. And really, all they're doing is setting themselves up for disappointment.
It's so true. It's funny because, I was an artist, and actually my band opened for you guys at the Stone Pony one time. It was a great show.
What?
Yeah.
What band was that?
It was my high school band. We were called Runaway Orange. We're kind of we're just a local pop punk band, and you guys were one of our heroes. So we begged the promoter for months. We know Bowling Troops coming. We gotta play. And it was right before 85 it was on the radio, but it wasn't like top charting the top top in the charts yet. We knew, like all my friends and the music community, we knew the song was going somewhere, so we had to get on that show. But the backstage thing is I'll go to my wife's friends' parties or something in town here, and if they found out, oh, you were an artist too, you toured, oh, that must have been rough on Danielle, on your wife. And I'm like, no, because honestly, they don't understand. You're in a van, and everyone stinks. You're driving 15 hours to a show, and sometimes the promoter isn't there until like 10 minutes before the show doors open. You're like, dude, I didn't sound check. You get in there, and then you're tired of selling, and then who's there? Like 6 hardcore fans that found you online, and the last thing you're gonna do is they're not showing up in like Daisy Dukes and like 80s hair saying, hey baby, let's hook up. It's like, oh my god, thank you so much for loving my band. Without you I can't exist. Would you buy a t-shirt? I need gas money. And then you go to the next place, and there's nothing else going on. So it's like if they only knew. And
tying in with that is they always say, oh my God, you've seen so much stuff, like you guys have played and however many, I don't know.
I-80 truck stop in Iowa is impressive.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just like, you're so fucking right. There's a fucking truck stop in Kansas that sells motorcycles. You're just like, it was fucking wild. Yeah, that is so spot on. Well, let's get into fatherhood, and also that's fucking awesome that you played with us in those days of the Stone Pony. As that was all happening. Is a bit of a whirlwind for us, and we were exhausted. We had just done 9 years in the van, and and had just gotten on a bus the year before that, probably. And so, but those were, the best of times. But we consider most of those years are just such a blur because of what we just said. It's just, here's your inside of the bus. There's a green room the size of a closet. There's the stage. Get back on. We're gonna go to the next city.
I just call it Groundhog's Day. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it wild
so
that then you're like thrown in like next to Christina Aguilera at an award show, and everyone's like, hot new act on the scene. What's it like to be an overnight success? And you're like, 15-year overnight success. Yeah, it feels exhausting. But you can't say that. You got like, hey, it's amazing. We're blessed to be here.
Yeah,
so exciting.
Yeah, and that's not far off. I mean, we before honestly, we were still in the van when "Girl the Bad Guys Want" got nominated for the Grammy. We were literally still a van band. And at the Grammys, fucking sitting behind Evander Holyfield and Godsmack, watching Simon and Garfunkel get back together. It was like, what the fuck is happening in our lives right now? It was just so wild. But so a musician to songwriter to band manager, whatever. It's a pretty. I mean, I wouldn't say it's uncommon that's kind of the way that what is the word I'm looking for? I'm pretty
transition.
Yes, that's a common transition or
there you go,
metamorphosis, so to speak. But I think the best thing about it. Oh, I was getting into fatherhood, but okay, one more management question. I think one of the things though too is there's managers out there, including ours, that really. Their experience of like the road and touring and all of that is through artists, whereas yours is through out there and doing the grind and whatnot. And so it's gotta make for a more empathetic and sympathetic sort of managerial stance on certain things. For example, just accommodations and just making sure that your band's comfortable and stuff, right? Did I lose it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's my strong suit is that, and I need in my life to just remain creative. I've been writing songs since I was like 7 years old, and I was the manager of my own bands. So I was always doing all of these things, and then it was kind of like as I got older, I was like, well, you know what? I got to be realistic. I'm not like the best singer and guitar player or songwriter in the world, although I'm pretty fucking good at all three, I think, but I'm not the best, and there's other ones doing it better. I should like help them do the things that I do well and let them do the incredible singing and songwriting and but I do find myself, I could spar with some of the best of them, so I will be able to get in the ring and say, hey, look, I think I can make you better. You're incredible. You're better than I am, but there's one little thing here. I have a suggestion. And they're like, dude, that's really good. So instead of me trying to carry all the weight, now I just kind of like, at most will co-pilot, but also there's also a mode where they're flying the plane, I'm a passenger, and I have some suggestions to make the experience better. But it's funny too, because when I was an artist, I had some terrible managers, and that's also what made me learn. I shouldn't say terrible managers. They were great managers as far as getting deals done and making connections, but artist relationship. They just didn't understand, and I saw the disconnect, and I was like, and I really wish they knew, what we were thinking. We were always doubting, do they really care about us, and do they even get my songs? So then when I was a songwriter, that's what really got me passionate about managing. I was songwriting with artists, and then the song would go to radio or get cut on an album, and then I'd see some success, but I always felt the song could do more, and then I always feel like, it's probably the manager just doesn't understand, doesn't have the fire, the passion that I do for that song. So that's why I was like, I'm going to start something from scratch. I'm going to get a group that will bring me in on the creative side, production, songwriting, and then I want to manage it, and I'll treat it like it's my baby. And that's actually did train me for kids, because dealing with artists, especially artists that are younger, there's a lot of things you got to keep their head on. So you're like, dude, don't look there. Don't do that. That's pointless. Oh, but so-and-so's on this show. It doesn't matter. It's not for you. We're going to do this. Yeah. In the long run, this is better for you. So that kind of got me into the mode of being a dad. And then once I was a dad, it really did help managing, because a lot of the stuff I thought was boring or tedious, I had to do as a dad anyway. So it definitely has brought a lot of balance to my life. And what's really funny is that Mitchie, the singer of Lovely, the band, for a minute, he was my manager when I was an artist, which was really funny because the right dynamic worked out. I have the suburban house in New Jersey with the kids, and he's a rock star in LA. But but that's also what's great about working with Lovely with Mitchie, is that he understands a lot of, because he had some of the managers I had in the past. We were both artists together. We were friends. We were always co-writing throughout the years. We've known each other for like 18 years. So, and that's a whole other story why I became his manager. But I'm jumping all over the place. But that is also he understands too now. He's learning more about parenthood through me, even though he doesn't have kids. But he sees things that you only hear about that you think there's no way that's true. That's so trite. There's no way. But then you'll hear me talk to my kids about a certain scenario, and it's like, oh my God, you're such a dad. Like, I can't believe that's like a real thing. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a real thing, dude.
Yeah, it's very true. I was the first, pretty much the first parent in Bowling for Soup, and I got the name Dad early on in our band, and you know what, I now I just changed it to Grandpa. And we just go from there. But I let's talk about though having kids. I mean, where were you music business wise? Were you already sort of done with the touring thing when you had kids, or were you still doing that?
I signed a publishing deal with Warner Chappell, and I was writing 5 days a week in the city for other artists, including Mitchie's previous act, Oh Honey, which were signed to Atlantic. We were co-writing stuff for that, and I thought, this is my life. I'm going to be David Foster. I'm going to be a songwriter, and I have this family, because that's when I really, I got married to my girl, and we were talking about kids, and that's where I was in my life. I was writing songs, but once the first kid came, I kind of felt pressure, like, wow, you know what? This songwriting thing takes forever to get paid. It's a shot in the dark that they cut your song and it works out. And that's when I was like, I need to take complete ownership over something before it's too late, before I don't have time to do it. And that's why I started managing. And I just had a feeling that would be, nothing's steady, especially music industry. It's crazy, but I like that. I like that kind of, that gives me an edge. It gives me a drive, that uncertainty. And only recently now am I start to invest in certain things that are passive income. Follow my TikTok. I'm fucking with you. I don't have investment. But when I first had kids, that really did give me that extra drive to this has to work. You have to do this. You have to make this songwriting thing and this manager thing work. And that drive really did help me, just focus and try to figure it out, solve it all. Being a manager, also found out that I knew a lot more about managing than I thought. And, a lot of it that I was being fooled by before was smoke and mirrors. And I was like, oh my God, so-and-so is such a big manager. They have, X, Y, and Z acts. And I realized that's just kind of them parlaying their previous success. And then people are coming to them now. It's not like they're out there starting from ground zero. I'm still taking acts from ground zero. And I hope maybe one day, become like a Jonathan Daniel, who's my mentor, and just have bigger acts come to me. But, that's in the distant future.
I think it's interesting I think it's interesting that you started managing after you became a father, because I was going to ask and say, like, it would seem like being a manager would prepare you somewhat for fatherhood, like putting out the fires and, anticipating the mess and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's interesting that you went the other way.
That's all you are when you're a dad. You're just a tour manager. You're a TM.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, I'm gonna make sure you got everything before you go. You got everything before you go. Oh, yeah. And then you're in the car and you're like,
oh, you got this at 3.
Yeah, and then oh shit, you forgot what? Okay, stay here, don't move. Yep. I'm gonna run back and grab that or whatever. That's a tour manager.
Exactly it, dude. Exactly. Yeah, it.
Getting them through the airport,
it's too, and I love that. That music has provided me to be able to. My wife's a school teacher, and she works, the school hours. And since my daughter was born, I have a daughter, Violet, who's 7, and a son, Milo, who's just turned 4. But since she was born, I've been with her every day. If I go to LA, I go overnight. I take a red eye, and I'm back to take her to soccer or school the next day. And I'm tired as hell, but I don't know. It's also like a control thing. I feel like now, like I'm like I can't. It's probably unhealthy. I need to be separated from them. I think we have to figure that out one day. But
Right.
so that's what I do. I make the lunches. I make my wife's coffee and lunch at night, and the kids' lunches. I take them to school. I have all the drop-offs. I see all the moms at the gym I go to. Like, I'm Mr. Mom, and then I'm on the phone, and they overhear conversations, and they're like, "What the hell does this guy do?" I'm like, "Yeah, you got to tell Black Bear that we need him at the video shoot at 2." So it's like, what's this guy talking?
Yeah, what's happening over there?
I love that. That's you're like you said, you fly there, New York or sorry, LA, and then you're back the next morning. You're tired, but it's not their fault that you're tired. It's not their problem. They just want you there, so you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all, I only do things, I save up moments like, hey, all right, we're going to sign this record deal or this publishing deal. Like, okay, I know it's going to happen on the 5th. So then I'll rally up all the other opportunities that I had building for months saying, hey, can you meet on the 5th? Hey, can we do a 2 o'clock on the 5th? And just try to get it all in on that day. Just also, it is hard at home, even though we have grandparents who are retired. I just feel, I don't know. It's, like I said, it's probably unhealthy. I just feel like I got to be there. I'm going to do it.
Right.
You maximize
you maximize the time away from home, right? It's the reason we used to not take days off. I mean, and we would go out and support bands or whatever, whoever we were playing with, be like, you guys are doing 26 shows without a day off. And it's like, yeah, it's one more day. We don't have to be gone. In our age now, we have to take a day off here every once in a while, but that's just all in the last 3 years. But yeah, I commend you for that, and that's sort of I would equate that to, me and Gary both when our children were, and Gary still has little kids, so he still does this from time to time, but flying home on a day off just to spend, you're gonna see your kids for 10 hours max. But you do it because that's what you do.
Yeah,
man.
I do feel the same way with my bands, though. Like, I really feel that when they're in someone else's hands for too long, or if they're, I'm just like, dude, I gotta get with you. We gotta, like you're slipping, guys. Like, daddy's home. All right, now, I need 3 TikToks. Back to TikTok. I need 3 TikToks. I signed these 2 documents. You have all this merchandise you're supposed to mail out. Like, but yeah, and there's a million apps, calendar apps, all these things, right? And you can't have them all. So I have most of it's just in my head, and it is like haphazard. And I've tried to bring in like assistants or even people who are aspiring managers and say, hey, look, it's going to be a little boring at first. You have to organize my Dropbox, but don't worry, it's going to pay off. I see you as an equal here. You're going to learn. I like that. I like your hustle. But then I just end up doing it all myself. And they're like, dude, you're not giving me anything to do. I'm sorry. I meant to give you more stuff, but it's just like when I thought of, oh, wow, I have this to do, and then I do it. And it's just because that's the way I do it with my kids too. Like, everything's on a calendar, like I said, but I'm going to look at the calendar all day, every day. So 2 o'clock comes and I'm like, wait, I was supposed to email so-and-so. And then sure off my calendar, it does say, hey, email so-and-so. But yeah, same thing with the kids' activities, soccer and baseball. And oh my God, we're out of fruit for lunch. And
it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, again, you're basically dude. You said, do you go out on the road with the bands ever? And when you do, are the tour managers like, oh fuck?
No, I'll go to important events. So if a certain program director that we're really trying to get to add a song during a radio campaign, and it's Detroit or whatever, I'll say, hey guys, I'm never going to miss an opportunity to get us further. So I will be there. And so I'll show up to all those, any important standout shows. But other than that, we really do every act I have. There's 2 or 3 people that are just as close to the act that I make sure are available. The tour manager we hire is always someone that's a friend that's in the industry. But we don't like to. I don't like to hire people that I don't know personally, because I don't know what they're thinking or what their intentions are, or their hustle. So also, it helps if you're able to yell at someone a little bit and they understand that you still love them. Like we're good. Yeah. But that you missed that thing. So, it's tough to yell at someone, that's a professional that you don't know, and it's kind of like, dude, I really want to lay into this guy. I think that's what's going to help, but I also don't want to come across as souring the situation. So, but yeah, it's a long-winded answer of saying everyone that works with any of my acts are a friend of a friend, and I trust them wholeheartedly, and the communications constantly. We're in group chats with the tour manager, with the product manager, and it's all just one open conversation. It's very lighthearted, but at the same time, we're all very competitive. We want to kick ass, and we want to, capitalize on any opportunity that we have in front of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, man, you certainly seem like that kind of a manager that is like just, the fifth or sixth member of the band or whatever. And you put yourself in there and have the right feelings about that. And you got in it for the right reasons too. Denis Lipari. Am I really saying your last name correctly, by the way?
So that is like the common way people say it, so I don't correct them. But in my family, we pronounce it Lipari, but maybe that's a New Jersey thing.
Oh, yeah, that's very New Jersey. Okay, Lipari.
Yeah. So
No. Yeah, that would no person from Texas would ever say that looking at your last name. There's no possible way. Denis Lipari, you're listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. And so, kid-wise, you said you need to be separated from them or whatever because you're just so, you're so hands-on. But I feel like COVID couldn't have done you any favors on that because you're locked in, 2 very important years in their lives, and you're there 24 hours a day. It's hard to undo that for all of us. And some of us, that I think that had to have had something to do with where you're at now.
So what's great about, obviously COVID was absolutely devastating, right? But I'm just going to try and look at the bright side here and pull out some things from personally, that when COVID happened and then people started working, but still remotely or video, it was so funny. They're all of a sudden now saying, Dennis, I get what you've been doing. Because I used to, I'd be on the phone with a booking agent, and I'd be like, hey, just before we say anything, just let you know, Violet's in the back seat, just so they don't say any vulgar.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it. Like, dude, I totally get where you're coming from. Like, oh my God, like, I'm you now. And no one's really fully gone back to, like, the whole, like, go to the office and do dinners and drinks and come home at 2 a.m. No one's doing that full on anymore. Now it's a hybrid. People are home for 2 or 3 days. So it's actually brought me a little bit closer to some people. But as far as COVID goes with the family, as a father, me and my wife say this all the time, like, we feel really guilty that we actually really enjoyed COVID because we have so many memories now of just almost doing nothing with the kids, whether it's a puzzle or just laying out in the grass. And it's kind of like this warm feeling of like, wow, that was like a fairy tale. That was like a dream. Like, we were just together all the time. Obviously, me and my wife, just like most married couples around the time, wanted to kill each other a lot of times during that time. But it ultimately was just a really, a certain sense or certain activities we'll do now. I'll just remember like, oh, wow, that was like such a COVID thing. And but it's like a good memory. It's like, oh. But then I also just think about other parents who didn't get to spend time with their kids before COVID, and then they did. And I'm hoping that maybe they felt the same way. Like, wow, spending so much time with my little kid isn't that bad of a thing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It changed a lot for a lot of people. I mean, we have so many dads on this show that were like, it changed how we tour. It changed, how much will agree to be gone. And, we've been one of those bands that since I had kids, which was pretty early on, we didn't take the 60-day world tours or the even 30-day tours that we were offered because it was like, I'm not going to be away from my family that long. And so, yeah, I mean, artistically, we missed out on some stuff, but you can't.
Yeah, but you don't regret a thing, right?
I don't. I don't regret anything. I mean, there's bands in our genre that may be, bigger than us or more wealthy than us or, whatever. Well, that's not hard, but I don't have one regret, and
I think where you're kind of going is like a lot of bands figured out, oh, we can be home for 2 years and survive. Like, okay, I'm not going to be gone for a year and a half at a time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone for, 15 days, 30 days, but we're not gone for 6 months at a time now. I think a lot of other bands have figured that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's certainly easier.
Before COVID, I was in that mindset and, luckily had enough success with Lovely the band, and it's because Mitchie is my dearest best friend, and he wants the best for me. He's always looking out for my family too. And so before COVID, most managers in my position where I only had one act, they'd feel the pressure and they'd be out there. I see them out there. They're networking every night. They're going to dinners. They're flying around all around the country. And I wasn't, and I know I was missing out on some growth in the business side of things, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I told Mitchie, don't worry, we're going to make this thing work. Don't worry about me. I'm going to make Love of the Band work. And then, that will make up for all that. And so now I'm just trying to get to a position, like I keep saying, where things come to me than me going out there to get them. I know I can kick ass and we can do some crazy stuff together, but you got to come to me. I'm not going to be out there wooing you and, carrying a little leather briefcase and wearing a Gucci satchel and say, hey bro, work with me, bro. Let's go.
Right.
I'm more of like, call me on the phone. Let's talk. I'll tell you some of my opinions about your music and where I see you fitting in, how you can succeed. And if that's your vibe, I'm your guy.
Yeah, man, I love it. I absolutely just think you're a fucking rock star dad. It's just been, this has been such a pleasure, man. Seriously. And I selfishly, I would like to get you on, I do another one called Music Networking 101. And I think there's a lot of young artists that could really benefit from hearing some of the things you've got to say. So,
cool,
I'll hit up Allie and try to make that happen. But man, so you're on Instagram. Where can people find you?
It's just my name, Denis Lipari, and on Instagram. I don't use Twitter. I'm on Truth Social. Find me on Truth. I'm fucking with it. And then just Instagram. You can DM me on there, and if there's enough there, I'll give you my email, or my OnlyFans, one or the other.
I see we have a couple of mutual friends. Fish, obviously, from IW Radio, but Zach Barnett is one of our favorite people from American Authors. We became very fast friends with him.
Yeah, so he's a good friend, and I if I have time, I want to tell you a real quick story because it is remarkable, and it just shows
plenty of time. Plenty of time. So
my second band, it was during MySpace. So we're hyper focused on MySpace, like kids today are hyper focused on TikTok. So we were a MySpace band, and I won't give you the name. It's a little embarrassing. The pictures are not. Anyway, we were on tour. So it was American Authors used to be called the Blue Pages, and so it was my group opened up. Then it was the Blue Pages, and then Cash, or another friend's mine, were the headliners, and they weren't EDM DJs like they are now. They were a band. MySpace band. So we're on tour, and it was the end of the tour, and we were celebrating in New Jersey at some local New Jersey bar that none of us would go to, and we're wearing tight purple tiger stripe pants and headbands. We look like MySpace kids. Yeah. So these local bros are trying to damper our time. We're celebrating the end of tour, and some guy gets the idea, and I'm with my now wife, with my girlfriend at the time. I was there with her, and he gets the idea that I'm giving eyes to his girl. And so that was the theme of the whole night. Like this guy, everyone's like, dude, that guy keeps looking at him. I'm like, bro, I don't know why. So anyway, I was the designated driver, so I was gonna go get the van and drive everyone to wherever they're going. So I go down the end of the night, go get the van, and you have to go down these stairs outside the bar. Next thing you know, I get clobbered in the back of the head. Uh-oh. I get pushed out the doors. There's three bros with button-down shirts, and they start pummeling me. I'm like, oh my god! And they knock me to the ground. They're kicking me like crazy. And then I hear my wife screaming, stop hitting him. And then she decides, because she thinks she's a superhero, she decides that her superpower is she's going to put her big juicy butt on my head. I'm on the floor, and she's going to sit on me. And that's which, by the way, that hurt probably more than the kick. Yeah. So I'm on the ground, and she's on my head, so I can't really hear much. But what I hear is, like the Ninja fucking Turtles are out there. All of a sudden, she gets off me. I stand up, and I'm like, what happened? All four local jabronis are on the ground, and the American Authors are standing there with their feet on top of them. Zach and his band beat the shit out of these guys for me. It was incredible. And then later when I hear the story, they're like, yeah, I had this one guy in a headlock. Oh, this other guy flipped over my shoulder. I'm like, dude, I am forever indebted to you guys. For that. Yeah. So every now and then when we hang out or see each other, we'll find a random stranger just to tell the story to. I'm like, Zach, I'm going to tell the story about how you kicked everyone's ass in Jersey for me.
Oh
So-
my God, that's is
incredible.
a fucking good story, and that's a good group of friends there too, man. And
Yeah, they're solid dudes, and they were the first of our group to have success with a big hit, and it we were all insane together. We would be at Angels and Kings in New York, networking every night from we're underage, some of us from 19 to 24 years old, and we were doing it for 7 years straight, and we had this crew of Cash, American Authors, Small Pools, Mitchie from Love of the Band. He was there. There's a lot more acts I'm forgetting right now. This group, Young Rising Suns, but Halsey. We're all homies together trying to make it, and we had mutual respect, and it was competitive, but we were supportive of each other. And slowly, one by one, but they were the first. They were like the godfathers of like, oh my God, you broke through. Yes, we're not delusional. Mom, I'm going to get out of the basement, I promise. Got a hit song. I'm next.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
They really did pave the way of like, dude, okay, they broke through the mainstream. We can do this. And one by one, I mean, Halsey obviously made it the furthest, but, and then Mitchie with Lovely, and I'm managing him. So like, we're all on this journey together, and we'll always have that. We've known each other for a long time. I know you guys have a crew of like with Butch and Mitch, Allen and them.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Yeah, you mentioned Jonathan Daniel, but I mean our thing too, Sum 41 and all that. But we have our like crew as far as like the hometown stuff it was all different kinds of bands because there was no pop punk here. So it was Tripping Daisy and the Nixons, the Toadies who are still around, and Hagfish and things like that. But definitely it's just it is good when your friends win, and I think that's probably one of the best things probably about being a manager too, is not only just having the successes yourself, but seeing the guys that are out there with their art win, and being a part of that has to feel really good.
It really does, and we really help each other out a lot. Like, I don't manage American Authors, but if they'll hit me up, and I'll hit them up for things that maybe blur the lines, but we're helping each other. Like, hey, dude, you should have so and so. He can get you on a couple playlists or something.
Yeah.
Things like, oh, thanks for that. And then they'll be like, hey, we have this show we can't do. Do you think Lovely wants to do it? And I'll be like, dude, that's amazing. Thank you for that. Yeah, give me the contact.
That's when you have like a good group, right? This is a competitive business. Every business is a competitive business, but there's some people that understand we can all do more together instead of like, this is all mine, back away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Warped Tour mentality, right? I mean, we were very lucky to get embraced into that world in, the early 2000s, and you're all out there. Everybody's helping each other survive, but yeah, man, I'm glad I brought Zach up because I love that story, and he's a good human being, and his whole band's super fun, and of course I'm very jealous of him because he wrote like a song that is going to be on Las Vegas commercials until the end of time. Like it's
Dude,
like
it's just it's like every year there's a new commercial. I think there was like last year there's an oatmeal commercial. This year it's like a coffee commercial. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that son of a bitch, and then he just gets another dog, that, what the fuck, man, he just writes, he gets another commercial and another goddamn Australian Shepherd. Now, I love that guy. And Dennis, it's been a real pleasure, sir. You are certainly a rock star dad, and please come back anytime. I feel like we just got into you telling stories at the end of this thing, and I think that's what Allie was just like, man, he's going to tell you stories or whatever, and I think we had too many questions for you today, so please come back.
We're just starting to have fun.
Yeah, please come back, man, anytime.
No, definitely. Yeah, you let me know. I'll be here.
And you guys, so check out Denis Lipari, and by the way, it's one in Dennis, and yeah. So y'all go check him out on Instagram, and make sure that you check out our brother podcast, Dadcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And we will see you next time. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.